Let's now have a look at the effects of and the reasons for international trade in an economy. If an economy is open and it takes part in international trade, it is usually characterized by being more specialized according to the goods it has a comparative advantage in. Now, what do we mean by specialized? That is specialization in production. So that country is now going to produce more of one good, whereas the country that it trades with will produce more of another good. They're going to determine what good that they should specialize in according to comparative advantage. Now, comparative advantage is when one country has a lower opportunity cost in producing one good than another country. If they have a lower opportunity cost of producing that good, then they have a comparative advantage in that good, and then they will usually tend to specialize in producing that good, where the other country will specialize in producing the good that they have a comparative advantage in. The models that you're going to be doing in Economics 1 are only concerned with two countries and two types of goods. So those two types of goods, you work out the opportunity cost of those two types of goods in terms of each other, and you check the opportunity cost between the two different countries, and if the one country has a lower opportunity cost, then that is in the one good, then that is the good that they are going to specialize in, and the other country will also have a lower opportunity cost in terms of the other good, and then that is the good that they will specialize in. So why do countries get involved in international trade? Well, if they get involved in international trade and they specialize, then they're going to have a more productive use of their resources. They're going to be specializing in the good that they are most efficient at producing. So they're going to be more productive and more efficient at producing that good, and then hopefully after trade, they can use that good that they produce more efficiently and trade it for more of the other good that the other country has produced more efficiently. So then they can increase total output and the total variety and the total consumption of goods available in the economy. So let's have a look at those gains from trade. How can you get gains from trade by specializing in one good and the other country specializing in the other good? You can get gains from trade if you look at the relative quantities of the goods that you can swap before trade and after trade. Let's take a country that produces cheese and wine. They can swap a certain amount of cheese for a certain amount of wine before trade, but then if they specialized in cheese production and produce only cheese, they would gain from trade if they could now swap more wine per unit of cheese. So before trade, if they could swap, say, 1 unit of cheese for 1 unit of wine, that would be fine. But then after trade, if they specialized in cheese production, let's say they could swap 1 unit of cheese for 2 units of wine. So they could specialize in cheese and gain from trade by producing more wine indirectly. So because they're more efficient at producing cheese, they would produce the cheese and then swap that cheese for more wine than they could have produced in the first place. So they can gain from trade by having more wine available to them and in the total economy after international trade. So that's how you can have gains from trade. So we've gone through the concept of comparative advantage, which will lead to specialization, which will hopefully lead to gains from trade when they trade with another country. So in terms of this two-country model, we're going to now try and do an example so that it can make it clear for you.